Good morning. I want to share some things about my granddaughter and also some things I picked up from Bob Goff, Catching Whimsy. He says that when their kids were in middle school, we noticed that often the new students who hadn't adjusted to using lockers, because you're moving around. When you're a little kid, you put all your books. We used to put them underneath the desk or right here, and so they'd carry the books around in their backpacks throughout the day. And he said they earned them nicknames, turtles, because they're carrying so much with them all the time. And we can do that. So I was talking to my granddaughter, and she's a freshman at Glenbard East. And I said, so how do you like high school? We were talking. She was over for dinner with her brother and her dad. And so she was like, I asked about lockers. She told me about a number of things, about what time she has lunch, and I told her I used to have freshman year, I used to have lunch at 10:20 in the morning. It was crazy at Montini. But she's across town there in Lombard at Glenbard East, and she said, I asked about the lockers, and she's like, well, I don't have one. It's like, well, what do you do with all your books? She goes, I don't really have books, I have a tablet. But what are you gonna do like with a jacket and stuff? It's like, well, you just I might just leave it in the first period class. It's kind of like, how do you get by without a locker? It's just like kind of foreign to me. But don't we all kind of carry stuff on our back and we just kind of turtle around? It's kind of like we just pile stuff in. I have a book bag, and this past couple weeks I've made mistakes. I've got some really thick books and some heavy books, and sometimes it's like I look in the morning, it's like I don't need this, I don't need this. But sometimes halfway through the day it's like I actually do need that. But in general, what I'm saying is I try to lighten my load a little bit so that I'm not carrying too much, so that I don't end up going to the chiropractor. Well, I love what Jesus says in Matthew chapter 11, verses 29 through 30. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble in heart, and you'll find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I've read that verse for years, and I love it. I love this. When Jesus describes his heart, he says that he's gentle and humble. The creator of the universe doesn't say, I am powerful and glorious, because then, man, we'd be pretty scared of him. But actually, just a few verses before this, he had some bad things to say about this town that just didn't treat him well. See, this is where he says, come unto me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden. The whole difference is how we treat Jesus. You come to him, he accepts you. You tell him, I don't want anything to do with you, and you're emphatic about it, he won't mess with you. He'll let you go your own way. He'll let you change your mind. But better to turn to him sooner rather than later. But this whole thing of carrying burdens, and if you're weary, that we can come to him. And this whole idea of wearing a yoke, it's like being an ox where you got this wooden thing around you here and Jesus is on the other end. Well, I like what Bob has to say here. Tell people you need a little more time alone to process a couple of things, and you'll be back. That's when sometimes you just need some time when you're going through difficulty. He says, go to Jesus with your anxieties and fears and the sense of being overwhelmed, like when your backpack just weighs like 42 pounds too many. Jesus didn't say his yoke was easy because it wasn't heavy. He makes our burdens feel light because he's that strong. You might be carrying something really heavy today, but bring it to Jesus, because very simply, while he may be gentle and humble in heart, he is strong, and he wants to help you today. God bless you.